Commodity Distribution Point 100 Level Training. This instructional video provides just-in-time training on Commodity Distribution Points, or CDPs. Let's review the goals for this video. In this video, you will learn what a CDP is and when it is used, who the CDP program partners are, different methods of distribution that exist within the program, different operational areas of a CDP, the different roles and responsibilities of staff members, and learn about the CDP protocol and other program resources. What is a CDP and what items are distributed there? After a catastrophe, access to critical commodities like food and water may be severely limited. If commercial retailers are unable to reopen or can't get goods into the impacted area, it is up to the local emergency management agency to make sure everyone has access to essential commodities. The CDP program is a scalable distribution operation for life-sustaining commodities that can be activated in response to disruptions in the traditional supply chains. A CDP site is a temporary location where commodities can be distributed to residents until stores are able to reopen. Several items are distributed at a CDP, including food. This could be meals ready to eat, or MREs, or fresh food depending on availability, water, and baby formula. Additional items may be provided depending on the needs of the community. Before a CDP is activated, all other general feeding and food restoration strategies must be incapable of meeting the needs of the affected population. These other strategies include the expansion of food benefit programs, supporting existing food pantries, soup kitchens, and meal delivery providers, and restoration of food sector capacity in the impacted areas. Key concepts of the CDP program. There are 4 key concepts that allow the CDP program to run efficiently. The first is flow, which describes the management of the public through all areas of the CDP. It is important to make sure that aisles and pathways are carefully identified so the public can easily access all areas of the site. We want to keep an orderly line of customers to ensure that people are receiving their commodities as quickly as possible. The second concept is storage and handling. This is used to describe the inventory management and movement of supplies occurring at a CDP. This process begins once delivery trucks approach the offloading area of the site. This involves the use of pallet jacks or hand trucks to move large amounts of supplies into the storage and handling area of the site. There, inventory is tracked and maintained until it is moved to the distribution area. The next concept is distribution. Distribution is the handing out of food, water, and baby formula to the public. Commodity distribution unit staff are responsible for providing each person who enters the CDP with the correct allocation of commodities. Members of the public are allowed to request commodities for members of their family who were unable to make it to the CDP themselves, potentially due to mobility or accessibility related issues. The last key concept is safety. Safety is the #1 concern at the CDP. Law enforcement personnel and a safety officer will be available to make sure that all operations are being conducted in a safe manner. When would we need a CDP? A CDP could be activated in the event of a coastal storm, a winter weather event, a blackout, a terror attack, or for a variety of other situations. To activate a CDP, New York City would have to experience a large-scale incident, natural or man-made, that would disrupt the supply of life-sustaining commodities. A CDP should not be activated if food and water are available through existing stores, businesses, or restaurants. CDP program partners. New York City Emergency Management works with many partners to plan, prepare for, and activate the CDP program. The New York City Parks Department and the New York City Department of Education, or DOE, are 2 of the main partners of the CDP program. They provide sites to run the operations, field staff, and management staff who work in leadership roles at each site, and in our Distribution Operations Center, or DOC. DOE also provides the majority of the facilities that we can use for indoor distribution operations. The New York City Department of Social Services, or DSS, holds the fresh food contracts that would be activated to provide prepared meals for longer-term CDP operations. The New York City Housing Authority, or NYCEM, also provides outdoor locations that can be used for commodity distribution. NYCEM may provide field management staff and a representative in the DOC if their locations are being utilized. Volunteer and nonprofit organizations may provide field staff and additional resources such as cleanup kits and shuttle services to assist with CDP operations. Volunteer support is critical for the CDP program because they know and understand their communities the best. They work in field staffing positions at sites and provide comfort to people who have been impacted. New York City Emergency Management works with several volunteer groups and organizations including NYC Service, New York City Community Emergency Response Teams, or CERT, the Salvation Army, American Red Cross, Citizen Corps, and Medical Reserve Corps. Methods of distribution. Distribution of commodities can be carried out using 4 different distribution methods. These methods include fixed outdoor, fixed indoor, mobile, and vehicular distribution. Fixed outdoor distribution generally takes place at New York City parks or DOE playgrounds and in NYCHA parking lots. Pedestrians will be able to walk through these sites to receive their commodities. Staff will be available to guide them through the site and answer any questions they may have. Fixed indoor distribution generally takes place inside DOE schools or in facilities owned by various New York City nonprofit partners. Pedestrians will be able to walk into those indoor facilities to receive their commodities. Indoor distribution can be used if outdoor conditions are still poor or unsafe. For example, if there is lingering bad weather or flooding in the area. Mobile distribution can be utilized in areas that were heavily impacted by a disaster or emergency but may not be conducive to an outdoor distribution site. This could be due to damaged infrastructure, flooding, downed power lines, inability to access the area, or unsafe conditions. Trucks of commodities can be deployed directly into these areas and handed out to the public. Vehicular distribution also occurs at outdoor locations, such as large open parking lots or roadways. Pedestrians will be able to drive their vehicles up to these sites and have CDP site staff place their commodities into their cars for them. Pedestrians will not have to exit their vehicles in order to receive their commodities. This method of distribution requires a lot of open space and is less likely to be used in New York City. CDP site operational areas. In order for a CDP to run smoothly, several different operational areas need to be identified. These areas are used to keep the site and staff organized and to efficiently allow the public to enter and exit the CDP site safely. Before operations are able to begin, spaces need to be identified for offloading, storage and handling, pedestrian entrances and exits, distribution, administrative activities, and staff breaks. The offloading area identifies where trucks should be offloading their truckloads of commodities and supplies. This location should be able to easily access the storage and handling area where supplies are tracked and maintained. Food, water, and baby formula are stored in this location until it is ready to be distributed to the public. The pedestrian entrance will be used by customers to enter the CDP site. The distribution area is where all commodities are handed out to the public. Staff will be in this section to assist with questions and to give each person who enters the site their portion of commodities. An accessible distribution area should be identified in this section where individuals with disability access and functional needs can choose to receive their commodities. The pedestrian exit will be used by the public to exit the CDP site. The administrative area is located where administrative supplies are stored, forms are completed, and staff are able to sign in and out before and after each shift. The rest area is the location where CDP staff and delivery drivers may rest, eat, take breaks, and access sanitary facilities. All of the areas above are pre-identified prior to the opening of the CDP, but CDP site managers can adjust predetermined site layouts based on the customer flow, commodity demand, and any additional needs that arise. CDP site roles and responsibilities. There are several staffing roles that need to be filled in order for operations at a CDP to run smoothly. These positions include a CDP site manager and deputy CDP site manager, storage and handling, flow monitoring, and commodity distribution staff, field logisticians, and security personnel. All staff roles have unique tasks that they are responsible for. The CDP site manager oversees and manages all aspects of CDP site operations, including site setup and opening, commodity distribution, public flow monitoring, storage and handling, and site closing and demobilization. The CDP site manager is responsible for establishing and maintaining proper lines of command, control, and communication. CDP site managers are likely to be staffed by the New York City Parks Department or the Department of Education. The deputy CDP site manager is responsible for supporting the CDP site manager and serving as their backup. They ensure that all roles in a CDP are filled, that staff are appropriately supervised, and that the operations run smoothly. Additionally, the deputy CDP site manager serves as the safety officer and is responsible for ensuring that staff and the public remain safe while at the site. The deputy CDP site manager and safety officer role is likely to be staffed by the New York City Parks Department or the Department of Education. Storage and handling staff are responsible for maintaining all commodities that enter the storage area. They are responsible for unloading trucks of commodities with various types of material handling equipment. They keep track of materials that enter and leave the storage and handling area and clean up materials and garbage after use. The storage and handling unit staff are supervised by a storage and handling unit leader. Flow monitor unit staff are responsible for monitoring and assisting the public throughout all areas of the site. They have one of the more public-facing positions and act as a greeter, provide directional help, and are an information source for any questions. The flow monitor unit staff are supervised by a flow monitor unit leader. Commodity distribution unit staff are responsible for distributing commodities to the public. These staff members act as personal shoppers and are responsible for bagging the appropriate ration of commodities per person. Each resident should receive 3 liters of water and 2 meals per day. Residents are allowed to request extra commodities for family members who are unable to get to the site themselves. These staff members also play a customer service role and will answer questions being asked by the public. The commodity distribution unit staff are supervised by a commodity distribution unit leader. The flow monitor, storage and handling, and commodity distribution unit leader roles are likely to be staffed by the New York City Parks Department, the Department of Education, or the New York City Housing Authority. Volunteers may be asked to work as field staff for these 3 units. Field logisticians are in charge of keeping detailed records of all commodities that enter or leave the CDP site. They also keep track of customer flow and demand, commodity burn rate, and any other pieces of data that are being collected at the CDP. The site field logistician will be staffed by New York City Emergency Management's third-party logistics provider and will report directly to the CDP site manager. Security staff are responsible for ensuring that all customers and staff remain safe at a CDP. Staff for this position will be provided from a local law enforcement agency. Security staff report to a CDP security supervisor. CDP program documents and resources. Several different resources have been created to assist CDP site staff in sufficiently performing their roles and responsibilities during their shift. The CDP protocol provides a general overview of the CDP program and the role of the Distribution Operations Center, or DOC. The protocol covers program triggers, staffing roles and responsibilities, reporting structure, and additional programmatic considerations. CDP quick sheets are documents that outline in-depth information related to CDP operations and strategies. These sheets will be delivered to each site and will provide detailed information about the CDP program, CDP sites, and the DOC. Job action sheets are documents that outline the roles and responsibilities of each staff member working in a CDP operation. These sheets provide specific, detailed instructions of various responsibilities that need to be completed by the staff member. These sheets also identify the various CDP quick sheets that would be helpful for completing certain tasks. The CDP Field Operations Guide provides a general overview of the CDP program, as well as detailed information that can be used by CDP site managers in the field. These are used and distributed as an educational tool during CDP training classes. CDP and DOC Pocket Reference Guides are small, one-page pamphlets that provide a general overview of CDP operational strategies, staffing patterns, and site distribution models. These are also used and distributed as an educational tool during CDP training classes. Let's recap what you've learned during this video. Today you've learned what a CDP is and when they may be useful, what commodities the public can receive from a CDP, who the program partners are and what they do, the different methods of distribution and operational areas of a CDP, the different staffing roles and responsibilities, and finally, the different program resources and documents that are available to both CDP and DOC staff. What can you do now that you've finished the CDP 100 level training? Sign up for the CDP 200 level in-person training. This training course will provide further detail into the responsibilities of CDP management staff, practice utilizing the program resources and documents, and discuss the various steps needed to operationalize a CDP from start to finish. And finally, you can volunteer for upcoming exercises, activities, and operations to support the CDP program. Thank you again for taking the CDP 100 level training. If you have any questions related to the CDP program, please email cdpprogram@oem.nyc.gov.